Hi, my name's Sasatsu5, and this is going to be a slight review over the Cold Steel Absolute Proof series, or Absolute Proof DVD series. It's not so much a series, but it has, you know, a lot of footage for a free DVD. This DVD has, you know, part 1 and 2 of the Absolute Proof knife testing videos. And then it also has the Absolute Sword Proof, it has the Big Blow Blow Guns, and the Inferno Pepper Spray, and Spills in Action. So there's a lot of video for a free DVD, and or actually 2 free DVDs that you get in this package, or this catalog. And I must say that what sets Cold Steel apart from many other knife companies, what sets them apart is their DVDs, their videos that they make of their knives. A lot of companies, they tell you, hey, all knives can do this, all knives can do that, and their knives might be able to, you know, withstand a lot of abuse. Their axes might be able to chop through steel. Their products might be as good as they say, but they don't prove it. And that's where Cold Steel shines, is that they go out and they prove to everybody who orders a catalog or has a YouTube account that their products work, and that they're tough, and you're going to get your money's worth out of their products. And that's one of Lynn Thompson's greatest strengths, besides designing knives, is his marketing skills. But I thought, since I got this new DVD, that I'll go ahead and do a slight review over it. There was a couple of criticisms. It's not really directed towards you, the consumer, because trust me, when you get this DVD, you're going to watch it many times just for fun. You're not going to watch it just to see what knife you want to buy. You're going to watch it for entertainment purposes. It's a great DVD. But I'm going to go ahead and just talk about some of the issues I had with the DVD, and they're very minor. Just keep that in mind. But this is mostly for the pretty much any of my issues. Point them out for Cold Steel's sake, so they can know my opinion, and if anybody agrees with my opinion, they can also say, yeah, I agree with that, and Cold Steel can see this and maybe do something about it, or it's just for educational purposes for Cold Steel's behalf. Anyways, Cold Steel has this DVD testing out many of the things, and one of the first things that really got on my nerves was on the throwing weapons, or throwing knives, spears, not necessarily spears, but throwing knives, axes, no shurikens, and that they often had targets like eggs. They'll tie eggs with connected to a string and hang them up, and they'll have whoever's demoing the weapon at the time would be throwing and cracking these eggs, which for me, for a throwing knife, you know, I can throw a screwdriver and, you know, crack an egg, or I can throw a football and crack an egg. So that, to me, that wasn't really saying so much for the actual product itself. It was more or less talking about the skill of the individual who was throwing the item. And a lot of you might say, well, you know, that's not a big issue at all. It isn't, and you're probably going to hear me say this again. I believe that the reason why they did this is because they got the new slow-mo video technology, and they just were having fun with it. And it really seriously looked like that Cold Steel, the whole company that was involved in filming this, was having a good time. You could really see it. But that's just something that kind of bothered me. I wanted to see they'll throwing knives, shovels, axes, shurikens. When they throw them, I want to see them pierce and stick into stuff on it constantly, and I want them to have great penetration. So I would more or less like seeing them throwing knives and objects at stuff like maybe, you know, wood. They do this. They throw at wood. They throw at cow skulls. They throw at metal drums of water. You know, they throw them at a lot of things that speak highly of the product that they're throwing. but the eggs, it wasn't for me. It looks cool, but it didn't speak for how good the knife is. So I figure why have it in the DVD. Also, let's see if I can actually get you to see this. And I don't have my magnifying glass with me right now, but you can kind of see that clip. What that is, they have maybe like I have it counted, but maybe 4 or 5 2-liter bottles duct taped together, filled with water, and then they have bungee strings on each side of them, you know, stretched out, and it's holding them up, like in the middle. And then Lynn Thompson will cut through them. It sprays water everywhere, and at the same time, it looks really cool on the slow motion, but I just don't see how it translates into how their knives are better than anybody else's knife. But with those two issues aside, I want to talk about the DVD itself. It has many great features about it, including the products that they show in here. I must say that the 12, 13-year-old kid cutting with an HS Bowie, that was pretty awesome. I kind of thought he was the luckiest kid in the world at that time, because I would have loved to be in a Cold Steel DVD cutting a big hunk of meat or rope with the HS Bowie. And I want to say congratulations. That was just a awesome idea, seeing that little kid swing that big knife. It looked like he could have two-handed this sucker if he wanted to, but he did a good job, and that speaks to the customers about how easy or user-friendly these knives are. Other issue I had with the DVD, though, just giving a little bit, this is more for Cold Steel's sake, for their information, is that Robert, I don't know if I have a bigger picture of him right here, but he's the guy right here with the sword. For those who are not diehard Cold Steel fans, you might not know who Robert is, but back when I first saw my first Cold Steel DVD, he was by far the scariest person I've ever met. He was crazy. He would grab a folding knife and slam it on a piece of wood to test the lock. He'll be hitting the blade on like the table and stuff, and you're thinking at any moment the lock will break and it'll cut him, but it didn't, because those knives are tough. And Robert really smacked on these knives, but in this new video, he doesn't do it as much, or much at all. He grabs them, but he grabs them in this weird grip. Hang on one second. He grabs them in this really weird grip, as in the solid proof DVD. He grabs it like this when he's hitting it on the table to prove how confident he is in the lock not breaking and cutting you. But in this new video, I'll see if I can get back a little bit so you can see. He grabs it like this, and he kind of just smacks it. But it's not really. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that the knife has to be tough to survive that. But after seeing the solid proof DVD where he's just really wailing on it with the spine of the knife, this little kind of wrist flick is just not satisfactory to me. I actually emailed Cold Steel about this and said, hey, what happened? Robert's just kind of flicking the knife on the table. It doesn't really look like he's really confident in the knife lock. What's the deal? I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, well, maybe someone had an accident with the faulty knife locking mechanism, like it was a maid rut, which could happen. And I thought, well, maybe he's just being careful. But still, they came up with this new triad lock. I felt that they really need to sell this new triad lock about how good it really is. And I can't remember her name, but the lady who emailed me back assured me that the triad lock is as strong as they say it is. And she showed me Andrew Dibko using, I forgot what knife it was. I want to say it was, it might have been the Espada or the AK-47. But he's doing how Robert used to do it, and he's really wailing on it. I mean, he's pretty much like smashing the wood that he's hitting the spine of the blade on, and he's following through, is just super strong, a super strong locking mechanism, and right there I knew that this is going to be a good thing. And it really sold me on the lock, because a knife hanging from a vise with like 200, 300, 400 pounds of weight, that speaks a lot. But for that sudden impact, and it's surviving the impact of the oval strike and the spine whack, that's something else, and most likely that's what's going to happen to your knife, and that's what could potentially make a lock fail. There's not going to be many opportunities for you to stick a knife in the wall and do pull-ups on it. But in a self-defense encounter, you could possibly accidentally do a oval strike or spine whack trying to cut something, and the lock could fail on you and the knife can cut you. But I don't think that's going to be a problem with this triad lock. If you watch this video, you will feel the same way, and once you handle a triad lock knife, you'll feel this way. But that's something that I wanted to point out, is that it looked like Robert had some kind of issue with his confidence in the lock. He was just flicking it like this, and he's a pretty big fella. He's not a weakling, so a snap like that might be a pretty big whack on the spine. But I'm just saying, I've seen him do better, and I was kind of disappointed when I saw that. But people have Cold Steel corrected that. They showed me a video on YouTube of Andrew Dipko really wailing on these knives, and I was sold. But that's another issue that I wanted to pull out for the sake of Cold Steel, not so much as you the consumer. Although you the consumer need to know some of this stuff, so you can take different information into consideration when you're shopping for your knife. But yeah, I pretty much guarantee you that the triad lock is what they say it is. I have complete confidence in it. I will have a review over a triad lock knife pretty soon. I can't guarantee you how soon, but I will. I have one that I'm gonna try out for a little bit, and I will have a review on it. But anyways, besides that little issue, this DVD is non-stop action. And also something that I thought was pretty funny, and at the end of some of the demos with the knives, Lynn Thompson actually started smiling. He would smile at the camera. It's just something that I never noticed in his other DVDs. But he started smiling like right after he would make a big cut, and he just it looked like he was having fun, and it looked like he didn't have any doubt in his mind how strong the knives were. Also some other cool features they have in this DVD set is that in the knife absolute proof section, they actually have a brief tutorial on Bowie knife fighting. They have like a little tidbit of Bowie knife fighting tactics that they teach you, and they go into a little bit of the history of Bowie knife fighting, not like a lot, but they talk about the advantages of the guard or the quillions, and they just tell you a little bit about fighting with a Bowie knife. And I think that is an excellent idea on Cold Steel's part, because it kind of gives you a glimpse in what you might see in the Royals Edge series. And a lot of people are thinking, well, spending like $60 to $90 on a, well, how much do they have it in this catalog? I'll tell you the catalog price. But a lot of people think, spending that much on a DVD is a lot of money to be spending on a DVD, and they might not see how it's worth it. I have spent quite a bit of money. I spent about $40 to $50 on a DVD before instructional DVD, and although it was pretty painful, there was a lot of good information in there. So anybody who's afraid of spending money on DVDs, don't be afraid. If the information's good, then you're not paying for the fact that it's a DVD, you're paying for the information. That's a good way to think about it. Okay, the Royal's Edge is $49.99 in the catalog. But I'm just saying this brief tutorial on how to fight with a Bowie knife, these basics, gives you a glimpse in the Royal's Edge and what you might learn, and it'll make customers more interested in buying these DVDs. So I think that's an awesome idea. I really enjoyed it, and it's just good information. It's free information with this DVD, and it makes me more likely to buy the $94.99 DVD set. So good job, Cold Steel. And on the Swordproof, the Absolute Swordproof DVD, they actually have a brief tutorial slash demo on the fighting with sables and rapiers. I can't remember which one it was because I'm getting this confused with the what you call it, the Solid Proof. I know the Solid Proof had the cutlass and a sable fighting tutorial, but this had like a this in this DVD they have a rapier fighting tutorial, and that's going to help you with your if you are a Western martial artist, that's going to help you with your it can help you with the Bowie knife fighting, because Bowie knife fighting has evolved from the Western sword fighting fencing martial art, but it's going to help with your rapier, your small sword, your sword cane fighting, and that's where you that's where you learn that is from the rapier fighting style. And they do a tutorial on that, and by doing this tutorial on that sword, it makes people more willing to buy that sword, and it makes them more willing to buy the Sable Fighting DVD. And it's just good free information, and I believe that Cold Steel is really going to benefit, and I believe us as consumers are going to benefit from having these free little tidbits of knife fighting, self-defense tutorials in the DVDs, because it makes you want to think, wow, this is really cool. I would really like to learn more about Bowie knife fighting or sable fighting. And they also have self-defense and throwing tutorials with their spills. So people who may not have never thought about buying a spill, after watching these tutorials say, oh man, this is really cool. I want to learn more about spill hunting and spill fighting. So good job. Also, I want to talk about the Big Blow Gun section on the DVD, Absolute Proof. It's the 625 Magnum Blow Gun. They have some new darts for the blow gun, the new single dart and the multi dart. You don't get to see the multi dart on the DVD. And then they also have the new Professional Series blow guns, which the wall of the barrel is like 3 millimeters thick, so it's like really heavy duty, and I really like that. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is that Lynn has really done an excellent job filming the Big Blow Gun video of this DVD, or that section. He did a really good job of explaining each individual dart that he shows. He did a good job teaching the how to use the blow gun, how to hunt with it, and he had a really good demonstration. Actually, Robert did this. Robert showed how to make improvised darts for your blow gun. In case you run out and you lose your darts and you're waiting for your shipment of Cold Steel darts to come in, you can make temporary ones or improvised ones and still shoot your blow gun and still possibly kill an animal. And they actually have a few scenes of different people hunting with their blow guns, and he talks about the different methods of hunting, stalking, still hunting, and he did a really good job of teaching teaching and showing information about the Big Blow Gun. And as soon as I watched it, I really wanted to buy one. Whether if I'm going to actually buy one or not is a different story, just because I'm trying to stretch money out as thinly as possible. But the big bore blowguns are really not that expensive. I mean, the 4-foot professional model is $13.99, and it comes with 46 starts. That's a good starting kit, and you can pretty much do anything you want to with it. But I just want to say congratulations, Lynn. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I think I was talking about the power of the mini Broadhead. It packs a lot of punch, and you know, they're breaking a ceramic plate, I believe, with it, and to me that was just amazing. And I'm somewhat considering getting it, but I'm still arguing with myself on whether to go through with that or not. And so that's pretty much it on the DVD. Overall, it's awesome. The things that I talk about is really more of an issue that Cold Steel needs to consider. That's why I'm pointing these out. It's not that they'll deal breakers on the actual product they're advertising. There's nothing wrong with the product, but I think they could have made a more efficient and video. Like, for instance, the Brooklyn Crusher and the Brooklyn Smasher. I don't know if you ever seen or if you know what I'm talking about, but it's a polypropylene baseball bat, and I'll show it to you right here. This polypropylene baseball bat. Lynn Thompson said that he came up with this idea of watching baseball, and the wooden baseball bats will break into splinters, which can be potentially dangerous. And plus, he believes that if you're going to use a baseball bat for self-defense, that you don't need it breaking on you, which I think is an awesome idea. He also said that he does not like the noise that an aluminum bat makes, that ping noise, that aluminum bat. He says it gets on his nerves. So he wanted something that makes maybe possibly more of a smack and will not break. And all these sound like great ideals. And in the DVD, they hit a lot of different stuff. They hit bricks, wood. You know, they hit. I can't remember everything they hit, but they hit. What's it called? Cinder blocks. They hit different fruits and vegetables and soda cans. But guess what is the one thing they do not hit with this baseball bat? You're right, it's a baseball. Lynn talked about the reasoning behind making these Brooklyn and Crusher and Smasher baseball bats, but he never hit a baseball in the video, which kind of got on my nerves a little bit. Is it a deal breaker? Is it going to speak less about the baseball bat? Well, no, not considering that they ran over it with a truck and it was perfectly fine. But since it is a baseball bat, you'll think that would be one of the things that they would have demoed, is them hitting it with a baseball, not necessarily smashing a Coke can or soda can. And so that's just another issue I had. But trust me, this DVD is extremely fun to watch. There is nothing wrong with most of the information in there. There's just a few of those hang-ups I had, and I really wanted to point them out to Cold Steel. And that's basically what this video is for. I'm really making it for Cold Steel. Y'all can watch it, hear my opinion. If you agree with it, good. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. But this is more of a response to Cold Steel about my thoughts on their new DVD and catalog, which are for the most part extremely good. I'm really happy with it. Although I'm going to throw a few cheap punches on some product, you know, I'm not going to be cruel and unusual, but I am going to explain my feelings about some of the products. By the way, to get started, the heavy-duty sword cane, this big one right here, is awesome. The only problem is with it that I really wish it didn't have the old man crook or handle on it, and it was more like the city stick. You know, it was just a little bit classier, something that a younger person can walk around with and not look like they're crippled or anything. But as a weapon, that is awesome, and I seriously considered getting that, but they were legal in Texas. But I want to say that they've cut bamboo with that sword cane, and it was awesome. It did better than most swords you find at flea markets, which isn't saying much because those swords are really crappy, but for a thin cutting sword blade like that, it outperformed itself. It really did. Let's see, the Slim Stick. It's a new walking stick they have. I don't have a big problem with how slim it is, and it's really not for a bad price. The only problem is that the head looks like a golf club. A golf ball. It's dimpled. It's white. It might just be the catalog, but it looks like a golf ball. And I don't know. That just messes with me. It doesn't look that cool. But then again, there might be some people who really love the golf ball head look, and it's been proven that the dimpled golf ball travels a lot faster than a smooth golf ball, so that might be a more efficient striking head than the City Stick. I really like the City Stick. I've been fighting with myself if I should get it or not. But the Slim Stick, it just kind of looks goofy to me. But then again, it might be a better performing self-defense tool. I don't know. But I'm going to point that out, that it looks like a golf ball, and I just kind of found that goofy. The Irish Blackthorn walking stick, that's cool. I wouldn't mind having one of those. Let's see. They come out with two new tomahawks. The pipe hawk, which is a kind of a throwback to the smoking pipe tomahawk, and then they have this spike hawk, which I think looks really cool and pretty useful. But I just thought I'd show those out. Keep in mind that the pipe hawk, the one that looks like a peace pipe tomahawk, the bowl does not function as a smoking pipe. It's completely solid. So it's really just another hammer. But it looks cool. Let's see. I really don't have a lot of issues with the items. I'm really looking forward to the new Voyager series to come out. I really want to get one of those because, well, I really wanted to get the Espada, but that's pretty expensive, and the Voyager just seems like a more affordable way to go. Let's see, I'm looking for a page here. Alright, here we go. Something pretty cool. This is another thing that I want to congratulate Cold Steel on. And for anybody in our armed services, like the Marines or Army, they should really appreciate this. You've seen the commercials, and you've probably seen some pictures of Marines or Army soldiers in their dress uniform with a sword. It's kind of like a parade sword. They don't have any edge on them whatsoever, but they're mostly for ceremonial purposes, and they wear them at these fancy get-togethers and events. Cold Steel decided to make functional U.S. Marine Corps officer sable, U.S. Army officer sable, and the Marine NCO sable. These sables are razor sharp, very pointy, very strong. They passed the British proof test, and they are exact, without being weak and non-functional. They're an exact copy of the military swords. They have all the proper engraving, and the specs are all good except for they actually work, which I think is an awesome thing. So if I was in the military and I had a parade sword, I would definitely trade it in and upgrade to one of these. And they're not badly priced either, like maybe $300. And my last little issue, they came out with this new Raha 3. It's 3.5 inches, which makes it legal. I'd really like to see it in a 4-inch or 5-inch, so you can get more use out of the kukri shape. I think you might sell more if you have them in 4-inch or a 5-inch. And besides that, this is just an awesome catalog, awesome DVD, and I think for the most part all of the consumers will be really happy with it. My little hang-ups on the DVD, Cold Steel, I hope you'll consider them, look at them, make your own judgment on what you think you should do with it. I'm not telling you how to do your job. Those are just my thoughts as a consumer. So if you so in the next DVD, if you think you should do things differently, cool. If not, it's also cool, but that's just my thoughts on those particular subjects. I'm Asatsu5. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'm out.